Hello BookTube, this is Weekly Reads. My reading week has not been particularly pleasant, and that is why I was not feeling all that great Wednesday and Thursday. I am feeling a bit better now. My plan for this reading week was to start with a work of history and then work my way through some of the BookTube events that I am participating in. Did work out. So I decided to start with a work of history because last reading week, the highlight of my reading week was Kathryn de Medici by Mary Hollingsworth, a fabulous new biography of Kathryn de Medici. So I decided to begin this reading week with a new release, Vertigo, The Rise and Fall of Weimar Germany by Harald Jahner, translated from the German by Shaun Whiteside, which is unfortunately not on the cover. You'll have to go to the title page to get it. So Vertigo is the story of the Weimar Republic, which is the post-monarchy republic set up in 1918 and existed until its overthrow by Adolf Hitler in 1933. So the book is, I think, in part a chronological history, while at the same time focusing on discrete aspects of the Republic, from the politics, the financial situation, particularly 1923, and the current inflation crisis, to the culture of the Weimar Republic, the architecture, that sort of thing. I felt immediately that I wasn't really going to get on with this book. I felt a sense of boredom of I've already read this before, particularly in the early parts before I bailed on it, because I do have a number of books on particularly the earlier part of Weimar history. So I bailed on it, and hopefully I'll come back to it, and maybe some distance will improve things, not only from Vertigo, but also some other works of early 20th century German history that I have read. On Monday, I started Conan the Invincible by Robert Jordan and promptly bailed on it. So this was for Sumerian September, an event created by Michael K. Vaughan, in which participants read Conan in the month of September. Conan is the creation of Robert E. Howard, who wrote a number of short stories and one novel featuring Conan the Cimmerian in the last years of his life, from about 1930 to 1936. Eventually, an editor named Lynn Carter, and I don't know what the hell else Brock DeCamp is, got the rights to edit his work, Robert E. Howard's work, particularly the Conan stories, and to eventually write their own Conan stories. And other writers joined suit. In the 1980s, Tor, one of the marquee science fiction and fantasy publishers, got the rights to Conan, and particularly the Conan pastiches. So they hired about 30,000 writers to write Conan pastiches. It's more like about 10, I think. One of whom was Robert Jordan, who would later go on to be better known for his long-running Wheel of Time series. Robert Jordan wrote at least 7 Conan pastiches, 3 of which are included in this omnibus edition. There's the second omnibus edition with 3 more novels, and he also did the novelization for Conan the Destroyer, the second Conan movie. I don't know if he did the novelization for Conan the Barbarian. I don't think he did. So I decided to read Conan the Invincible, in which a young Conan gets involved with a female thief and somehow or other an evil wizard. The book is trash. The novel is trash. It just overwritten. Jordan is, I think, trying to be H.P. Lovecraft and just overwriting, just overwrought. It's not just purple prose, it's, I don't know what the hell it is. It's just, it was like, who would use bilobate in a description? It's just like, and to think I liked some of these when I was a teenager. So my first encounter with Conan in a literary form was actually through these tour pastiches. And I read a number of them when I was a teenager, and at the time quite liked them. I'm not entirely sure what the hell I was thinking at the time, because I certainly do not like them now. I've tried several times to read a number of these pastiches. A few years ago, I tried Conan the Savage by Leonard Carpenter, and it stank too, and I have since gotten rid of those. The trade paperback pastiches that I had. So these are going to be going as well. Oh well. I might see if I can email Steve Donahue and see if he would like a violation of rule number 1 for these, although I don't see why. Unless you're a huge Conan fan. Let's put you with the other one. And it will eventually go meet the donation box of doom. So on Tuesday, I decided to read Family Dancing by David Leavitt. This is his debut short story collection. And I guess they're okay, but I still didn't get on with them at all. What stories I attempted to read. I mean, yeah. So anyway, and at this point, I started to get rather down because I was getting a bit frustrated that I wasn't really enjoying these stories. I mean, I'd read his second collection, A Place I'd Never Been, decades ago when I was a teenager, and I think I liked them, but all of this stuff, it's making me question my taste as a teenager. So I bailed on that, and then on Wednesday, I tried and I was not feeling up to it. So I decided to drop my readings of the short stories in this collection, The Ascent of Wonder, edited by David G. Hartwell and Kathryn Cramer. So at this point, I was feeling pretty down and not being entirely sure what I wanted to read to finish up this reading week. So I decided to read some slim volumes of poetry. There was in my poetry shelves one collection that I have yet to read. So I decided to read it yesterday, and that is The Universe All at Once, Selected Poems by Salim Barakat, translated by Huda J. Fakhreddine. So this is a phenomenal collection of selected poems or selections from Barakat's more recent collections, including selections from the 500 Fragments, The Grand Ghazal, A Spiritual Admonition, and A Battle in Aquitaine. This collection also includes an interview between Fakhreddine and Barakat, which is really amazing. And this collection really brightened my day. It was like turning on a light. It was just really, really needed. And I really enjoyed the interview, particularly Barakat's gentle nudgings for Fakhreddine to actually translate, rather than selections of his poetry, an entire collection of his poetry, or book of poems, or long poems, because Barakat tends to like long poems. So this was very nice. And today I reread, after about a year or so, Tanto by Marina Carreira. Now, this is a pretty neat collection of poetry. I really like the collection, although my response this time was a bit more muted, but it was still nice. Now, my reading plans for this week are shaky. I have a few books that I'm going to show you. I don't know if I'm actually going to read them, because I don't know. I think what I want to do is just hunker down and read a bunch of manga. But that's next week, because I'm expecting at the end of next week to get an email from book people saying that 2 of my pre-orders are on their way. I ordered the 20th volume of Tolapan Hanaka-kun and the 7th volume of Chujin X. And I should get them not late next week. Depends when book people ships the books. But I'm expecting probably very early the following week. So that Saturday, I'll probably read a number of some assorted volumes of manga, and then on Sunday start on Tolapan Hanaka-kun, and then wrap up with the new volumes of Tolapan Hanaka-kun and Chujin X on Friday. But I'll get to that next weekly read, because it'd be the following weekly reads. So this week, I'm thinking over the weekend to have it out with the Animal series from Reaction Books. Going to try to redeem Swan by Peter Young and Rabbit by Victoria Dickenson. So the Animal series from Reaction Books are a small, short, meditations on various animals that include biology, natural history, cultural studies, all that sort of stuff on various animals. I have occasionally toyed with collecting the series. Some of the books have been quite delightful, but I have tried several times to read these two, and I haven't been able to get into them. So I'm going to try it this week, and if it doesn't quite work, or if it doesn't work, then I need to question what I want to do with these books. I'm also thinking of reading 2 works of history. Um, Bad Mexicans, Race, Empire, and Revolution in the Borderlands by Kelly Lytle Hernandez, and The Chile Project, The Story of the Chicago Boys and the Downfall of Neoliberalism by Sebastian Edwards. So these are my options. I'm not entirely happy with them. So don't be surprised if next weekly read is completely different. I don't know. We shall see. Anyway, BookTube, that's all I have for this week. So until I see you next week, thank you. Have a great rest of your evening and weekend, and stay safe.